The Welcome to the Show podcast is independently produced by me, CT, and Manny Gomez. Help find our show by taking 2 minutes to leave a 5-star rating and a review wherever you listen. Visit audibletrail.com/welcome to the show for a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. All right, we're back with the Welcome to the Show podcast. I'm CT, and unfortunately, my co-host Manny could not be here today because he's on vacation. Isn't that nice? You get to just go away whenever you want to escape your troubles, but not in the real world. All right, let's get back to it. I had to call in a favor today. I got my cousin here, Ivy. He knows a lot about baseball, so we're going to stick to baseball. Lately we've been trying to incorporate current events and topics and movie reviews and stuff, but we're just going to stick to baseball today. So what's up, Ivy?
How you doing, son?
I'm good, man. Call me CT.
CT. I'm right, yeah.
All right, man. Something's weird. Something's in the air. The water's dirty. I don't know. But the Mets are relevant again. And the Red Sox, 14 and a half games out of first place. What the fuck? What is going on?
Oh, man.
We're going to start with the Mets. All right? So, it's a two-part... Wow, it's hot down here. I'm sweating. That's why we're drinking beer. It's a two-part discussion about the Mets. They're on fire. I got some stats here. They're one game over 500 since May 2nd. In the beginning of the year, I think they started off 15-7, something crazy like that. It was the same thing as the year before.
Yeah.
They're one game... As of yesterday, they played a doubleheader with the Marlins. They beat them. DeGrom pitched amazing. They're finally one game over 500 since May 2nd. 17-6 since the All-Star break. I think that's the best record in that span. And 11 of the last 12 they've won. And they're 2.5 games out of the wild card. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. As a matter of fact, I know they're not going to win the division.
Yeah, definitely not.
I don't buy any of this Mets shit.
They're definitely not winning the division. How far are they from the division?
I'm not sure.
8.5. Yeah, they're definitely not winning the division.
All right, they're 8.5 games out of the division, but they're 2.5 out of the wild card. So we can at least agree that they might
get the wild card, the second spot.
But here's the thing, I don't think they are.
I don't think so either.
I don't buy any of this Mets shit because I said it in a couple of episodes previously that leading up to the trade deadline, they were all about, like, are the Mets going to sell Syndergaard? Are they going to sell Wheeler? Are they going to do this and that? We find out that they traded for Marcus Stroman because they actually wanted to flip him to the Yankees, and that didn't work out. So what I think happened at the trade deadline was that they had a plan to stack up on a lot of prospects and assets for the future, but maybe they didn't find suitable buyers for Syndergaard and Wheeler. Maybe the Mets don't know how to trade. So for all we know, they had good deals in front of them and they didn't take them because they thought they were getting lowballed or something. I don't know. But I think that whole thing backfired. All of a sudden, they're hot. If they knew they were going to be this hot, why would they get rid of Jason Vargas, who's basically their most efficient pitcher this year, right? But I said it before the trade deadline. The Mets are going to give you hope leading up to the trade deadline because that's what the Mets do. And then right when they're in the grasp of making the wild card or making the playoffs, they're going to revert back to the old Mets. And if you notice, their bullpen still isn't pitching good.
Nah.
And Pete Alonso's slumping. All these other guys are starting to step it up. Like Ahmed Rosario, like out of nowhere now he can hit and field. You know? Jeff McNeil to me has been their most consistent player. Michael Conforto's another one. For the bigger half of the year, he was trash. Now he's carrying the Mets. So I don't buy any of this shit. What do you think?
Well, I mean, you said a lot.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do.
All right, I'm not going to say I buy it or don't buy it, right? Because I'm a little bit in the middle right now when it comes to them. They're definitely not winning the division. I'm definitely going to say that. They're not winning the division. 8.5 games is a lot for them. The wild card, I still think they could maybe win the wild card. Or, I mean, not win the wild card. Get a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
But you said there was 17-6 since the All-Star break?
17-6.
How many of those teams are above 500? Not a lot. A lot of the teams they played are under 500, just trash.
Yeah, they let's see here. So with teams over 500, they're 27-38. The Marlins are 25-57. Wow. Oh, I guess everybody that the Marlins plays is, for the most part. I don't really know how to read this stat too much. How could the Marlins be 25-57 against team? Is it when they play a team over 500?
It's when they play
the team is over 500?
It is over 500.
Okay, so that stat is a little bit misleading. But still, yeah, you're right. Their schedule hasn't been all that hard, and I think it's
recently.
Yeah, recently. Yeah. I think it's about to get a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But they're about to play the Nationals. That's only, to me, that...
Yeah, no, but I think they're also going to play the Nationals. The Braves are supposedly coming up in part of the schedule. And I'm pretty sure the Philly at one point they're going to have to play. So they're playing some of the top teams in the division next. So that's the reason why I'm kind of stuck in the middle. If they play good against the Nationals and Braves, like the top teams in their division, then I'm kind of buying them making it to the wild card.
Here's an interesting stat to get a little bit off topic. The Cubs only have 21 road wins.
That's crazy.
In the National League, the only other team with less is the Marlins with 20.
Yeah, but they kill at home, yeah.
They do. They're 40-18 at home. That's crazy. That's a little bit getting off track.
Yeah.
Let me just reiterate, I don't buy any of this Mets stuff. It just seems all too good, like a team that I saw for what they really were for the most part of the year. They were only good in April. They've sucked since May 2nd, I guess, because that's the last time they were in over 500. And out of nowhere, they're just supposed to become like this team in the division with the Braves. Nah, man, I don't buy it. I think the National League, I don't think it's as good as the American League, maybe. But I still don't see the Mets even making it the wild card, man. Even with their so-called newly named the Flushing Five. I don't know if you've heard of that, the Flushing Five.
They really give her that name?
Somebody gave them that name because I've been hearing it lately.
Well, this is the thing. I do like with them adding Marcus Stroman. I do like their pitching rotation because Marcus Stroman is way better than Jason Vargas. The guy, he was dominating the American League East. Yo, that every ballpark's a hitter ball's park. Every team, even the Orioles, who are trash, is a power hitting team.
Yep.
And he still has an ERA in the twos, and like a 1.2 WHIP or under that. Yeah, so adding that to their rotation. If Syndergaard could be Syndergaard, like dominant, like what he could be, just him, DeGrom, and Stroman in the top of the rotation, that gives me a little buy-in to them getting that second wildcard spot. But it all depends what they do in the following weeks. I know they have a series against the Braves, and I know they have a series against the Nationals.
So I'm looking at these stats, and they're a little bit misleading because the Mets have been hot as of late. Mm-hmm. But they have a run differential of 3. 3. With their starting pitching, their run differential is 3. That means that they don't score a lot of runs, and their bullpen is trash. That's what I think. So that hasn't changed. They're hitting better than last year, but they're still not a well-rounded, good hitting team. Like I guess Conforto stepped it up. Rosario stepped it up. Cano was stepping it up, and now he's injured.
Yeah.
So I really don't think any of this is gonna change. I think it's all fluff, whatever. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna understand why the Mets are sitting out of the playoffs come September, October, whenever the fuck the playoffs start. Sorry for cursing.
Yeah, I can like if they miss the playoffs, I can't understand it. Right? But I honestly think they might be in contention for that second wildcard spot into the final few weeks. I can see that happening.
All right. Now, this is the second part of the discussion that I wanted to have. Because even though I just ripped the Mets, that consider all this kind of just hype and nothing's going to happen, yeah, I ripped the Mets. That's what I do. But even though I consider this all kind of hype and everything, I still have to note that they went from being 10 games under 500 or worse to now they're 1 game over 500. Yeah. They're actually back in the mix. So I do give credit to that. With that credit, though, does this mean that Mickey Callaway gets another chance next season?
Is his contract up after this year?
I haven't looked at his contract. I'm just thinking in terms, if you had a choice to keep Mickey Callaway as the manager of the Mets, Does he get another chance? I would say no, because I can't look past all the shit that's gone on this season. All his post-game interviews, his logic, his reasoning for certain things, how the Mets just look flat for most of the season. So I don't think Mickey Callaway should be the manager next year of this team. If you think about it, they're going to have pretty much the same type of roster, except this time Pete Alonso's a year older. Jeff McNeil's still going to be there. You still have the same starting pitching if they sign Wheeler. So do we want Mickey Callaway being the manager? I say no. What do you think? You think that he should get another chance to be the manager of the Mets? I think he does have another year.
Right. See, with the contract stuff, right. So if the contract stuff doesn't really matter or anything, there's one thing. I haven't listened to any of his post-game interviews. I don't get time for that.
He sounds like an idiot sometimes.
I'm not surprised because, like, with work and stuff, like, I work the night shift, so sometimes I don't get a chance to listen to all these stuff. But this Mets team should have a better record than what they have. And I feel like I have watched some of the Mets game, and some of his decision making, kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Kind of iffy. So if I was the Mets, and there was like his contract ends this year, I wouldn't bring him back.
Yeah, because like Edwin Diaz hasn't been that great. He hasn't been good this year, right? He almost walks a batter every time he comes up. He gives up a run. The other day they had like a 7-2 lead. The game ended up being like 7-5 or whatever. I don't know. He seems to always give up something when he comes in after being so dominant last year. I'm not saying get rid of Edwin Diaz, which I'm happy the Mets didn't trade him this offseason. I think that was a good move. But at least like move him out of the closer role. Like stop rolling him out there to close games out.
But do they have a better option, like in their bullpen right now?
Lugo's been pretty good. Apparently he's been pretty good. I don't watch too many Met games, but Seth Lugo's been pretty good, yeah. But what I'm saying is like they're on this roll. Yesterday I was listening to the game. They're the first game against the Marlins. He brings in Edwin Diaz it became a safe. They were winning, I think 6-2, or they had a 4-run lead in the ninth, and he brings in Edwin Diaz, right? They need this game to be 500. So he brings in Edwin Diaz, and I think he walks the first batter, strikes out the first batter, walks the second batter. I don't know. But the bottom line is that it ends up becoming a save situation because the tying run was on deck. And I'm just like, yo, like this game, even though you're just going to be 500, it's July, it's August 6th, 5th, whatever. It's August 5th, and you're about to just be 500. Even though you're still, a long ways from getting to a playoff spot. Why not roll out your better relief pitcher to get that 500 game, I don't know. I feel like he keeps rolling Edwin Diaz out there in the closer role, and I don't get it. But I would say I wouldn't want Mickey Callaway to be the manager next season. Based off of, I know they've had a good run, and this deserves like some credit, but still. And I also got to say something. I also got to be honest that if you bring in Edwin Diaz with a 4-run lead and he doesn't get it done, that's not Mickey Callaway's fault. I agree.
Yeah.
But something's happening there. I don't know.
I wouldn't bring it back because I've seen, how long is it? He's been the manager for the past 2 years, or is it 3?
I think he started being the manager like halfway last season. I don't know. I don't know if he started.
He started around the same year that Aaron Boone started. How long has Aaron Boone been the Yankees?
Since last year. The last year was Alex Cora, Boone, and.
So I think that was his first year also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I thought he started I didn't know he started the season.
Yeah, he started the season.
Yeah, I'm not a Met fan.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure. So don't at me at this. if anybody knows any of my handles.
Mickey Callaway is 44 years old.
Yeah, he's young. Like for a manager,
he doesn't look 44. Being a Met manager, you get some years tacked onto you.
Being a manager, you know what I mean?
Alex Cora looks pretty good.
Yeah, but he's bald. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna see no gray hair. Like he's always shaved.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk some Yankees and Red Sox and AL East. The Red Sox, we have to talk. We were gonna avoid talking about we're both Red Sox fans. We're gonna avoid talking about the Red Sox, but we can't. They just got swept by the Yankees over the weekend. Life sucks. I'm not gonna lie. You got to question wearing the hat, wearing the colors after what they put us through that weekend. I mean, they didn't do shit. that weekend. And they got swept by the Rays right before that. Like, you talk about the worst possible thing that could have happened. And right when they were coming up, they had just won 3 out of 4 games against the Yankees the weekend before. Like, now they come in and they get swept by the Rays, who's ahead of them in the division now, who they were ahead of when that series ended with the Yankees. They're behind the Rays again. Then the Yankees sweep them. And it wasn't just like a sweep. Like, they whooped our ass. So
both teams, yeah. They fucking...
Chris Sale shit the bed. David Price shit the bed. You know?
Eduardo Rodriguez.
So basically, the Red Sox are 14.5 games out of first place as of today. They won yesterday against the Royals at home. I personally think home games are a big thing for the Red Sox. Even though they have a better away record. That Yankee series, I'm finally happy I have a Red Sox fan on the show, because I can finally say this without get the reaction that I think I'm looking for. Don't you think it's kind of weird that all these series happen in the Bronx up until last weekend?
What, like most of the
Red Sox and Yankees games, and the 2 games in London were Fenway games.
I don't know. Dude, that London series was the weirdest shit up here.
I know it was weird, but I'm saying, like, why can't we alternate, you know, a little bit of Yankee Stadium, a little bit of Fenway? Like, we've played, I think the Yankees are 10-4 against us, and I think we've played 10 of those games in Yankee Stadium. We're gonna end up playing more games in Fenway.
Yeah, because it should be even by the end of the season. It should be,
except those 2 London games.
Except those 2 London games.
Fenway games.
Yeah. But like, I'm sorry, like us being the home team and them being the home team, it should be even by the end of the year. But yeah.
So we got about maybe like 50 games left in the season. We're 14 and a half games out. How's it looking? How do you think it's looking?
Oh my God. Oh man. It's horrible, man. And yeah, I'm a die-hard Red Sox fan.
Let it out, man.
Yo, but these last 2 series, yo, holy shit, yeah, it made me want to cry.
It really was bad, man.
It was
like
terrible.
When going into that Yankees series at Fenway, we weren't doing too bad. Like, the pitching was coming around. We were whooping teams' ass with the lineup.
Yeah, we were playing good. We won 2 out of the 3 against the Rays.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we're getting to a good start, because we were going to play the Rays, the Yankees, the Rays, and then the Yankees. That's how it was supposed to be our next 4 series. We started off nice. We win 3 against the Yankees, and we lose the last one. Then we go against the Rays. I'm like, all right, we started off good. I'm expecting us to win this series again, to win 2.
I'm expecting us to split. At the very least, split. Chris Sale start.
Yeah, with the Yankees, I was expecting to split. With the Rays, no.
Oh, you're talking about the Rays. Yeah, you're talking about the Rays.
Because I'm talking about like these 4 series, how we won the first 2. And then I was expecting, you know, to us to win against the Rays again. Win 2, maybe lose 1. And then with the Yankees, I was expecting to go 2-2. That shit did not happen, yeah?
Nah, man. And it's like, like, I don't know, man. Like, something's wrong with Chris Sale. I don't want to say he signed his money and just, I've never considered Chris Sale the player to take a night off. Like, I feel like he's a competitor. He's going to pitch to the best of his ability every time. But, like, it's just such a coincidence that he signs that great extension. And now he hasn't won a game in Fenway since last season.
He didn't win one this year so far?
He hasn't won a game in Fenway.
That's crazy. I thought, all right, I don't know what's up with Chris Sale, but I listened to a recent interview. I'm not gonna mention who was talking or where I heard it, because I'm not gonna give none of those people props on this podcast. All right. But there's one guy that I was listening to. He's a former pitcher for the Red Sox.
Okay.
And he said that he has noticed at times that Chris Sale's tipping his pitches. I don't know if he's making that up or he's actually has noticed something.
But how does a guy like Chris Sale? I can understand Severino when they said he was tipping his pitches because this is like his fourth full season, right? But how does a guy like Chris Sale, who's like in his like 7th season, how is he tipping his pitches? Like, isn't tipping your pitches something that you don't just like? I feel like it just doesn't start happening out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. I don't understand how he has gotten to the point that he's tipping his pitches. I heard DeGrom was tipping his pitches too, so that's another one that I'm kind of like, how the hell do these guys start tipping their pitches out of nowhere?
So, I didn't even think about that, right? I just thought Chris Sale has been struggling. Was tipping your pitches still like considered like that, right? But I wasn't thinking like, oh, he's tipping his pitches, right? And I really didn't notice because I didn't get a chance to watch his game because it was on Saturday? Was it when he pitched?
Mm-hmm.
So we were in New York the whole time. So I didn't really get to watch that game to notice if this interview, what this guy was talking about, was actually true. So he said that he feels like Chris Sale has lack confidence, right?
Okay.
And that sometimes changing your tempo, sometimes because like maybe on a fastball you go 1-2 and you throw, and then when you're coming with the all speed, you might sit and you might go 1, 2, 3, 4, like take more time and. So
you're saying that he's not tipping his pitches like on the way of delivering the ball. He's just becoming predictable.
He's probably becoming predictable and say maybe supposedly with the tempo. But then he also did say that he noticed that his arm slot on different pitches is not always the same. But I haven't noticed none of that. But at the same time, I can't see none of that. Everything looks the same. So maybe that's what's causing Chris Sale. Maybe he is tipping his pitches. Maybe the guys are struggling.
So we're 14 and a half games back from the AL East division.
I don't see us winning the division. That's one thing.
I don't put it out of the reach because there's like we got a lot of games. We got around a month and a half left. A month and a half, or good more than a month and a half left of baseball. I don't think anything's impossible.
Me either.
We're 5.5 games out of the wild card.
The one thing that always gives me hope about us winning the division, and it goes into like a bad memory.
Yeah, when we were 2012.
What? No.
The year that we were. The year that we were.
I think it was before 2012.
The year that the Red Sox were in first by like 13 games.
By August, and then in September we were up by like 9 games. Yeah. And I remember the Mets were also good, and they blew it.
I remember that.
And we blew it coming down to the last game. Fucking.
The Orioles came in and snuck in, and
were they the one that snuck in?
No. It was the Rays.
They beat us
to get us out of it.
Yeah. I think in a walk-off. Goddamn you, Evan Longoria hits that little cheap home run over that short ass fence in Tampa Bay, and we're kicked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, man.
That's the one thing that gives me hope for us winning the division.
I don't put it past the Red Sox by a miracle. It'll take a miracle, and the Red Sox game is about to start here.
This guy needs to start stepping up. We traded for your ass, so you better pitch a goddamn good game.
Andrew Cashner is about to throw his first pitch against the Royals. We should beat the Royals, man, but they can hit.
They can hit.
Whit Merrifield's a beast. This guy. Yeah, Whit Merrifield is a beast.
I don't know what took him so long to ever get called up here.
Politics. Probably. We're gonna get into that a little bit later too, but it's gonna take a miracle for the Red Sox not to get to the playoffs, because 5.5 games is nothing for that lineup. For anybody listening to this, 5.5 games is nothing. But the reason why I don't put it past them, making a run for the division, because we still have to play the Yankees a couple more times. Yeah. And the Yankees got to play people a couple more times too. So that magic has to run out sometimes.
I still see us making the playoffs. I still see us.
Me too.
Getting to the wild card spot, either with the second spot or the first spot.
Here's a question. Who's pitching that wild card game? I'm going Chris Sale, man.
All right. Before the All-Star break, I would have put David Price. But since the All-Star break, he's kind of been iffy. He's been having some really bad starts. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, I will go with Chris Sale, because that guy still be striking out. Yeah. Anybody that gets in that bad spot, he still has a lot of strikeouts.
I'm going David Price if that game is played in Fenway, maybe. But if that wild card game ends up being somewhere like...
if David Price doesn't step it up from here until the end of the season, I'm not putting him in. I will still go with Chris Sale, even if it's in Fenway.
Yeah. All right, Whit Merrifield starts off with a double, guys. Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to change the subject here. We've talked enough about the Red Sox. Actually, you know what?
I do want to say one other thing about Chris Sale. Part of me feels like the Red Sox don't play as good when Chris Sale pitches. Just because the other day, it was before his last start. So I don't know if his last start affects this number pretty bad.
His last start before his last start was against Yankees at Fenway, 7 strikeouts.
So I heard this before that start, right? He still has FIP. That's only what the pitcher can control, right? Like that's what his ERA should be kind of like.
Yeah.
If I'm right, he still has like one of the best FIPs, which some of these sabermetric stuff I really don't understand.
So let me explain. His FIP right now is 3.54 and his ERA is 4.68. That means that FIP according to my good co-host Manny. Manny, shout out to you, man. I hope you're listening to this. I hope you're having a good time out there. Yeah, he's out in a review play that we're watching here in the Red Sox game. But FIP is a stat that takes the team out of it. So it only takes into account, I guess, home runs, strikeouts, only stuff that only the pitcher has
like
control
walks,
over.
stuff like that.
So if you have a better FIP than your ERA, that means that you are actually pitching better than what your team, I guess, has allowed you to do.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, you see, like, his FIP. So I don't know, because the Yankee game, they rock Chris Sale. But I don't know what it was before that. But he had like a pretty good FIP. Like, I remember, it was like in the 3-something.
It is. I consider that a good FIP because it's a whole run under his ERA. So if he, but it still indicates that he isn't as Chris Sale should be because his FIP last season was 1.98.
Yeah, last year he was just dominating.
Yeah,
but I also I feel like the Red Sox don't play as good sometimes. Like, I feel like they make more mistakes sometimes defensively when he's pitching. And even last year, we got to start scoring this guy some runs.
Yep. I agree.
I'm not going to say we're one of the best. I think we are the best offense. But when he's pitching, I feel like we can't even score 2 runs.
So people usually rank offenses by the runs they scored, and the Red Sox right now have the most runs scored in MLB.
Most runs, the highest batting average.
We have almost 30 more runs than the Dodgers. Yeah. We have 5 more runs than the Yankees.
And if you go through the offensive stats, we have the highest batting average. We have the most runs and the most RBIs, which kind of shows why we have the most runs.
No, we're beast. We're a beast lineup. We're still a beast team, bro. Yo, watch out for the Red Sox.
And you know what's crazy? I'm surprised that our team is ranked first in any pitching categories, but we have the most strikeouts as pitchers.
We're striking out the most?
Yes.
Batters?
The last time I saw it last week, we had the most strikeouts. And that's I was trying not to curse, but that surprised me.
No, you can curse on this. You can curse on the show. It's just that I know you can curse on this podcast. The point is that I know there's some children out there, and I know who you are.
Yeah, I know. But the U.S. government cannot censor me.
The government can't censor us, though, so feel free to curse.
But yeah, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, shit, we really ain't like... We just need to stop these people from scoring.
Talking about the Yankees is almost like talking about everything we just talked about, except that because they're in the same division, they swept us last week. All credit goes to the Yankees. I can't lie. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't give a fuck that I just cursed. I don't care. I don't know what's going on with all these injuries, and they still don't seem to lose. What do you think it is?
They be eating their Lucky Charms, yo. They got a bowl of luck.
But here's the real question: why hasn't Clint Frazier been called up yet?
Honestly, I don't know. Do you have any? Because I haven't really heard about him.
The last thing I remember is, let me tell you, the last thing was that he got sent down when people started coming back. I think when Judge came back, or when
when Judge
Stan came back, all these guys started
because they
coming
all
back.
came back like around the same week.
He got sent down, and he was upset about it. He even said something to the media. There was a time where he completely shit the bed in defense and in that one game, and they lost, and he didn't talk to the media. And I know for the Yankees, that's like a big no-no. But yeah, we're talking about a kid. I'm looking at the American League Rookie of the Year candidates, and based off of his averages, he might have been he could be if allowed to play the full season, he could be the American League Rookie of the Year. So right before he got sent down, he was hitting 283, 11 home runs, 843 OPS, all this in 53 games. I understand that like Talkman and these dudes are producing. You still got like what's this guy? Maben.
Mm-hmm.
They're hitting and stuff. I understand that, but don't you want a guy like Clint Frazier in your team? He's kind of like a spark plug. Like he's young, his bat speed is incredible. Like I know his defense isn't great, but with Gary Sanchez out and Voit out, I think Voit is still out.
Yeah, Voit's still out.
Put him in the DH slot. This is the perfect time.
For real. All right, so that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, because since he got sent down, like I heard an interview before he got sent down about him being mad, and to be honest, if I was in his shoes, I hope he's mad too.
Hell yeah.
I'm performing, and I get it that your two top stars are coming back up, but I've been performing. Like, I earned the spot, but whatever. Since he got sent down, I haven't heard about what he's been doing in the minors. I don't know if he's performing or underperforming.
I think he's performing. I'll look those up as you.
Right? So I don't understand why the Yankees don't call him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you said, with Luke Voit being injured, Giancarlo Stanton has only played 9 games in this year. What's draft pick?
So you picked Giancarlo Stanton second round. I picked Aaron Judge. I regret that so much.
Yeah, but at least you've gotten games. I've had 9 games.
9 games out of Giancarlo. Why did you pick Giancarlo Stanton?
Because I was gonna pick Judge, and then you got Judge, and then I was next. And I'm like, what's the next best power hitter that I can think of? Giancarlo Stanton. Because JD was out already.
Yeah.
But Yelich was still there. Regret not picking him. But we're not getting to fantasy, so I'm going to go back to what I was saying. So, yeah, with Luke Voit being injured, with Gary Sanchez being injured, is there anybody else in the offense that's... Aaron Hicks.
Let me tell you, we'll stick to the... Go ahead,
I don't know why they don't call him up. Even to just DH. Like, I honestly don't get it.
Listen, I believe in karma and all that. Not that I believe in it so much that like it runs my life, but I believe that if the Yankees are trying to teach Clint Frazier a lesson, when this guy all he did was play good baseball.
Yeah.
He didn't choose to be traded to the Yankees. Right?
Yeah, he really did.
He would have been a starter in MLB, probably on any other team. I get that the Yankees have a lot of talent, but if the Yankees are doing this just to kind of like get him back for acting like a baby while he was up here and not wanting to go down to the minors, then I don't know, man. I think the Yankees got something coming their way. That's all I'm going to say.
This is another thing. I know people criticize his defense, but I'm not 100% sure about this. But I'm pretty sure when the Yankees traded for him, he was a third baseman.
I think you're right.
Right?
I think he was an infielder, yeah. So
him playing bad defense in the outfield, the guy's just learning how to play the outfield. Like, yo, you're going to see some shitty defense from him.
But like, all right. Sticking on the Yankees. I don't understand baseball, right? Because they'll take a player out of a game for something stupid, like cramps, right? Mm-hmm. But Gleyber Torres had to go to the hospital on the last game on Sunday, the last game of the Red Sox series. They had to go to the hospital. He went to the hospital for a core condition. Core. Mind you, Aaron Judge missed like 2.5 months of baseball because of a core injury this season. I'm thinking like Gleyber Torres is going to be day-to-day at the very least. He's in the lineup the next day.
So what was this guy
I don't know. He must have had some gas or some shit.
I was about to say, was he constipated?
They'll take a pitcher with a good pitch count out of a game for giving up like a run or something like that. That's not even an injury, but they're so cautious about these players. But Gleyber Torres goes to the hospital. Out there's a medical claim bill with Gleyber Torres' name on Sunday, and he's in the lineup the next day. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how baseball works, but yeah. Back to the Yankees, man. My final take on the Yankees, maybe because I have my good Red Sox teammate here, but my final take on the Yankees is that I don't see them winning the World Series with this roster. With the roster that's been doing all this magic, you know, these players from the minors they got called up to take the places of their original starting lineup. I don't think that's gonna fly in the playoffs. More on that is that their pitching is ranked in terms of ERA. Their pitching as of today is ranked 18th in the major leagues. Now, I heard this on the radio that the last team, or I don't know if it's the last team or the only team to win a World Series ranked that low, was the Royals in 2015. They were 22nd in team ERA when they won it. But I also heard that the Yankees ERA is higher than what the Royals was that year. So it's a little stat for you.
I don't think they're winning either. You want to tell you why?
Tell me why.
All right. I'm not saying this team is going to win it, but I think they're going to make it from the American League if they all stay healthy. Houston, what they did in the trade deadline, they could go 3 starters. And all 3 throughout the whole playoff. And all those top 3 starters that they'll get put for you are all aces on any other team. They could go Verlander, Cole, and Greinke.
I'll go Verlander, Greinke, and Cole. But I don't know how Greinke.
I wasn't saying like in the old. I'm just saying like.
I don't know how Greinke's numbers are in the postseason.
I think they're pretty good.
They probably are pretty good. I mean, he was on those Dodgers teams.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure his numbers were good. Like, cause around that time, that's when Clayton Kershaw will struggle as stars, and I feel like he was the one carrying the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like Houston's making it to the World Series again. But if the Dodgers make it again for a 3rd straight year, I don't see them losing 3 straight years. I think if the Dodgers make it to the World Series, they're finally going to win it.
Well, this is their third. This will be their 3rd year making it, but will it be their 3rd World Series in the last 5, or did they make it another years before that?
No, it was 3rd straight. Because before that, they lost to the Cubs. And the Cubs make it back-to-back years? Or no.
No, the Cubs.
And I think they. And then before that, I think they lost to the Mets in the division series, if I'm right.
No, they definitely lost to the Mets the year. Yeah.
Because I think they're making if they make it to the championship series, I think that's 5 or 6 straight years they make it to the championship series.
They're definitely in a streak of winning the division.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
6. Once again, I'm not sure because I don't have the stuff in front of me. So all these certain stats I'm pulling out is off the top of the head. But if I'm right, it's 6 straight years that they've won the division.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not even gonna look it up. It's not. The point is the Dodgers.
And they're gonna win it. And they're gonna win the division this year.
There's
no way.
No lie.
There's with that 18 games above whoever's in second. There's no way they're losing that. Mm-hmm. They could go on a serious slump, and I don't think they're gonna lose it.
Enough about the Red Sox and the Yankees and the AL East. Let's talk about... I wanted to talk about the Rookie of the Year, but to be honest with you, the American League Rookie of the Year, that whole race or whatever you want to call it, looks kind of dull. I'm gonna read through the candidates right now as of a week ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got Brandon Lowe from the Rays.
Yes.
862 OPS, 16 home runs. All right. That's pretty good for a rookie.
Austin Meadows not a...
Austin Meadows, is he even a rookie?
That's what I was just thinking about right now.
I don't think he's a rookie.
He's not a rookie?
I don't think he's a rookie. You can look that up while I'm reading through these. But anyways,
you read the other side.
We got John Means, pitcher for the Orioles. 3.12 ERA, 8-6 record, 78 strikeouts in 98 innings. We got Michael Chavis, my boy from the Red Sox. But he's kind of fallen off a little bit. 749 OPS with 18 home runs, but he has 121 strikeouts. Can you believe that? Everyone was praising him for getting all these home runs with playing, so few games. But you can also look, he has 121 strikeouts already. I'm pretty sure that's up there in league leads. Then we got Eloy Jimenez, who actually started the season with the White Sox. 18 home runs, 755 OPS, 65 hits. I personally think Eloy Jimenez isn't doing that great, but he is a rookie, so you got to give him credit, for at least putting up some numbers. And then we got Vlad Jr., who for the most part has been kind of cold, but has been on fire lately. 815 OPS, 13 home runs in 83 games. You asked me a question over the weekend, I think it was, that if Vlad continues with this tear, should he get Rookie of the Year? Looking at this list, I think he might.
I think so. So
Because it's not that crazy of a, you know.
So that's why I asked you, because I know in the and it's not that these people are having bad years. When you look at it as rookie years, they're good, right? They're not amazing. They're not like all time type of rookie of the years, like stories that you would talk about, like Aaron Judge.
Yeah, but somebody has to get the award.
Right? Somebody has to get the award. Right? If Brandon Lowe or Lau, because I know they always
I call him Brandon Lau.
if because he's kind of been on a downfall like recently. Like the last couple of months, he's been
Yeah.
So with that being said, I will go with either Michael Chavis or if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has really figured it out and he continues his hot streak. Vlad, if he could keep this up to the end of the year, he's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. But the main reason I wanted to have Vlad Jr. right now seems like he's gonna leap the other rookies and probably take home the award just based off hype alone. Maybe he should have got it. I don't know, but
yeah, the hype will get probably like voters that haven't been watching.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this is Vlad.
But he has been ripping it lately. So the real debate though is with the National League Rookie of the Year. Now I thought that Jeff McNeil was still considered a rookie, and I would have given it to him. Because he's been on a take. He's been so good for the Mets lately. Like, it's crazy. But
does he still have the best average?
Yeah, he's still league leading in average, yeah. But he's not. So that leaves us with, and maybe there's a name I'm missing, but you let me know. Pete Alonso, who's been slumping as of late, but he's still pretty sure he leads all rookies in home runs with 35.
Definitely.
So this is the difference between American League and National League. The American League rookies are putting up rookie-ish numbers, and the National League candidates are putting up like elite numbers. So we got Pete Alonso, 35 home runs, 949 OPS, 105 hits. Fernando Tatis Jr., 323 batting average, 19 home runs, 970 OPS. Chris Paddock of the Padres, 3.19 ERA and 110 strikeouts in 104 innings. He has a 7-5 record. And I feel like he's coming off a bit of a struggle. So those numbers were actually better maybe like 2 weeks ago. Brian Reynolds. Not too many people know about Brian Reynolds, but he's on my fantasy team. I picked him up. He has 103 hits in 89 games, which is amazing. And he has a 409 on-base percentage. That might be leading all rookies that are qualified for on-base percentage. And Mike Soroka, which I for some reason thought he was ineligible because of what he did last year, but 2.45 ERA, 102 innings, 97 strikeouts, and he has a 10-2 record. So
I was actually forgetting about him, man.
I forgot about it because I didn't think he'd still be eligible for a rookie, but he comes up in polls. So if I had to give it to a player, I'm giving it to Tatis, man. Or Pete Alonso. Tatis or Pete Alonso would be my two rookie of the years for the National League. Now, Pete Alonso's amazing, but he strikes out a lot, man.
A lot. Yeah, no,
So does Tatis. But I feel like Tatis plays the defense. He's an all-around solid player.
Great defense.
Yeah, he plays great defense.
I've seen him make some plays. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, it wasn't all hype around this guy. This guy could really...
No, the guy's a beast.
He is a 5-tool infield. The guy has an arm. Like, I've seen him make some throws that I'm like... I want to know how fast he threw that ball from short.
And he's big, too.
He's big.
Yeah.
He's fast. Right? The guy tags up from a ball in the infield, like sliding in shallow right field from a second baseman and scores.
Yeah.
He's hitting. And it's not just that he's hitting for power, because he has power. Mm-hmm. He's hitting for average. He takes his walks. Yeah, he does strike out. But I don't think he's striking out as much as Pete Alonso.
No. Pete Alonso's... He's Aaron Judge with minus the walks.
Yeah.
He's Aaron Judge minus the walks.
So, my thing is, until I saw the Mike Soroka stats, I was going to say that it comes down to two people, and it was going to be Pete Alonso, Fernando Tatis. But if Mike Soroka can keep that up, it's going to come down to them three. But I honestly agree with you. Way before this podcast started and you told me we were going to talk about this, I was going to say Fernando Tatis Jr. should win Rookie of the Year.
And the dude is putting up like MVP numbers. Like, it's not just Rookie of the Year. It's Rookie of the Year.
And he missed a lot of time. He missed a lot of time.
No, he did. I had him
Pete
on.
Alonso, if I'm right, hasn't really missed time.
He hasn't missed time. Well, maybe he missed a little bit, but he has not. Nah.
And like I said, Fernando Tatis has missed time, and he's still putting up good numbers. So for me, as of right now, I'm gonna give it to Fernando Tatis Jr.
Shout out to Fernando Tatis for putting Dominicans back on the map because we took a hit with Cano. We took a hit. Now we got Tatis, Vlad Jr., Eloy Jimenez. The dude that the Marlins got in the farm system, I'm pretty sure he's Dominican.
What guy?
Their best pitching prospect. The guy that's pretty sure he's Dominican.
I don't know.
Man. The future for DR looks bright.
It looks bright.
Oh, did you see how this? Speaking of DR, since I said Cano took a hit with that 80-game suspension, did you see how what's his name got an 80-game suspension?
Tim Beckham.
Damn, man, we forgot to mention. I should have put that as a topic on the thing, but Tim Beckham 80-game suspension.
God damn, this guy needs to do anything. He needs to have a good year. Yeah.
I mean, he was though. He was having a career.
I looked at the
Power
wise. He has what, 15?
No, but what did he have before that? Didn't he have like less than that for his whole career?
When I saw it on Instagram, because I first saw it on Instagram, right? And I was like, nah, is this for real? So then I went up to him, right? Because the Instagram poked fun on him that, he gets suspended for PED and still has a bad year. The guy has 15 home runs this year. Before that,
he only ever had 22.
The most was 22. Yeah. So he's kind of, it is almost like doing what he normally does.
Damn. What,
so I'm like, damn, this guy's using PEDs and supposedly juice balls.
And he's still
having a bad year.
I'm wondering, what if he just took like something to like, what if he just took something to like help him go to sleep at night?
So
like,
supposedly what he took, what was it?
Yeah, let me break it down because I actually should have included this, but we had such a jam-packed. Let's see here. Mariners infield Tim Beckham has been suspended for 80 games. Joint drug prevention treatment program. According to the league announcement, the league says Beckham tested positive for the banned performance-enhancing drug stanozolo.
I'm glad you pronounced that. Yeah.
let's look up what stanozolo is. Let's see.
Yeah, because I saw that and I'm like, yo, what is that?
Stanzolo. Let me turn the mic as I read this. It's a synthetic steroid that is derived from testosterone and has anabolic and androgenic properties. Androgenic. That's how I would pronounce that word. It first came into the market. Okay, I don't give a fuck how it came into the market. I want to know what it does. What does it do for you? Let's see. It can be administered orally. Some of its therapeutic uses include the treatment of aplastic anemia and hereditary. Dude, these words are hard to read, man. Damn, and I'm like, it has also been indicated as an adjacent therapy for the treatment of various other medical conditions such as vascular disorders and growth failure. Side effects of stanozol include those commonly associated with anabolic steroids such as menstrual irregularities, acne. It sounds like a steroid. It sounds just like a regular good old steroid. So yeah,
and it looks like most sports have it banned because I kept on reading like one lines. I will read like one line just to see the Olympic has it banned. It's not just baseball.
So, yeah. So yeah, he fucked up.
Cheating.
Yeah, he fucked up. He fucked up. Only got 15 home runs in the year.
He's batting 236. WAR like I always in our fantasy baseball chat, I'll always trash talk it because I feel like sometimes people go to that too much. But still, 0.2 WAR.
No, but this is the perfect example of somebody that got banned taking, like, Cano got banned for taking something that's used to mask steroids. Yes. We don't know what he really took.
Yeah.
But let's assume, I'm gonna give him the benefit. I'm gonna give people, I'm gonna agree with people that he cheated. He knew what he was doing. But look at the uproar for Cano. We might not hear about Tim Beckham's suspension tomorrow. It happened today. We won't hear about it tomorrow. Why? Because Tim Beckham sucks.
Because he sucks. And I feel like since Cano was a superstar, so that's one thing that I also have. But I feel like sometimes with Dominican players, since there's been so many superstar Dominicans that have gotten caught with it.
Yeah.
When there's another Dominican, you hear it all over. It's not just It's not just MLB.
Yeah,
it's ESPN.
Yep.
Is
yeah, they shit on us. Yeah,
is any Spanish channel?
yeah, it goes crazy. But I'm just saying,
So-
like, it's like, just take Tim Beckham as an example. Like, this guy could have taken the Barry Bonds and A-Rod stuff, and I'm pretty sure he still would have been Tim Beckham.
He still would've been
wasn't
Tim
gonna
Beckham.
jack 60 home runs in a season.
You know what was the crazy thing? I only heard it because I was scrolling through Instagram. I haven't even heard it on TV yet.
Nah.
I was watching Intentional Talk before coming here. I didn't hear them talking about it. I mean, I didn't catch it from the beginning, so I don't know if maybe I missed the segment. But I didn't hear Kevin Pillar and Kevin Millar, and who's the other guy that works for him?
I know who he is, but I don't know his. I forget.
I haven't heard them talk about it. It's not a big news.
No.
But it's because he's Tim Beckham.
Tim Beckham sucks.
And
That's
he
what I'm
plays for
saying.
Seattle.
Yeah, man, Seattle.
So
It is what it is, man. We know what the deal is. It's time for the rest of baseball to catch up. But all right. The last topic that I have today, and really it was mostly just to talk about something because, you know, we could talk about anything, but I had been thinking about this recently. Now, I had always thought that Javy Baez was a great player, but a little bit overrated in the sense that, like, people were always focused on like his tattoos or like the way that he tags people out, stuff that I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit find him annoying. I used to find it. I still sometimes do, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. Javy Baez is, people were saying it, I didn't believe it at first, but he's up there when it comes to fielding. Like, he's undeniably top 1-2 infielders. Put him second base, third base, shortstop. I'm pretty sure you could put him in the outfield and he'll do good. Like, so
he knows how to play.
yeah. On top of that, he has turned it around offensively, where now he finished second in MVP voting last year. So he puts up monstrous number. He strikes out a lot. He's currently leading the league in strikeouts. He does strike out a lot, but maybe that's a byproduct of him trying to hit more home runs. I don't know. He didn't strike out this much earlier in his career. He didn't hit this many home runs early in his career either. So, with that being said, I wanted to kind of just talk about, like, what would Javy Baez make if he were to hit free agency. He's going to be 28, 29-ish in 2 years, 2021, when he hits free agency. The highest paid shortstop, I'm going to count him as a shortstop because I think shortstops get paid more. So the highest paid shortstop this year is Elvis Andrus with 15.2. I think Xander Bogaerts becomes the highest paid shortstop next season with his extension that he signed this season, making $20 million a year. Mm-hmm. He's 27. He'll be 27 when he starts making that money. Javy Baez is going to be 28 going on 29 when he hits free agency. So, on top of all that, let me just keep adding to this shit. He fits the mold of like the current day baseball athlete, where he's all about fun. He looks cool. He's smooth with everything. Hits home runs, pimps it, everything. And baseball seems nobody criticizes. I've heard more criticism from Bryce Harper than I have from Javy Baez, according to the media. So
yeah,
to me, I'm looking at a guy that's gonna get paid more than Xander Bogaerts.
Yes. So I think he will be, until Francisco Lindor hits the free agency, he will become the highest paid shortstop in the league.
I forgot about Francisco Lindor. Wow.
He will become
It's the golden age for shortstops.
Because right before we started this, I'm like, I'm surprised that the highest paid shortstop was Elvis Andrus.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, a lot of the top shortstops that we are looking at right now are still under club control.
And they're signing those arbitration deals.
Yeah,
man.
so that's why they're not up there. So I don't know when Francisco Lindor becomes a free agent. They become a free agent around the same time, or if he becomes a free agent a year before, a year after. But if Javy Baez hits a
same time and 2 years a year or two younger, so he'll be 27ish. when he hits free agency. Damn. If he doesn't sign an extension, which we've seen Cleveland saying, or the owner of Cleveland saying that, like, yeah, enjoy him. That's the most fucked up thing. He's like, enjoy him while he's still here. Like, so anyways, Francisco Lindor is going to get paid, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you, man. I wouldn't be shocked if Javy Baez makes more money than Francisco Lindor. I
wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I wouldn't be like, oh wow, really?
Yeah.
But I think Francisco Lindor, then it's gonna be the highest paid shortstop, and then after that, it's gonna be Javy Baez.
He's gonna be 27 or 28. I don't know whether he's gonna be at the end of 27 or the beginning of 27, according to this. But he hits free agency after 2021. In 2021, he'll be 27. In 2021, Javy Baez will be 28. So. I mean, damn, man.
So I feel like they're both are going to make at least the way baseball players are getting paid now, minimum $25 million a year.
No, yeah, $25 million a year is definitely.
Now I don't know how many years they're going to get because sometimes with these contracts it just doesn't make sense sometimes anymore with years. So I'm not going to say, oh, they're going to get 10 years, they're going to get this. I don't know how many years. Yeah. But I can see them averaging $25 million a year with their contract.
If I was Francisco Lindor, Javy Baez, I'll sign that 5-year deal. I'll be 33 by the time it's up. You're still gonna get at very least. Let's say you don't get the 10-year deal you're looking for. You can sign a 4-year deal at the age of 33. Mm-hmm. You're still probably gonna be one of the more elite defenders at a position that needs defense. You know, like shortstop. You're still probably going to be cranked with the way the home runs are getting hit these days. You're still probably going to be cranking minimum 20 home runs a season. I haven't looked at Francisco Lindor, but I know he missed a lot of time.
He already has 20.
20?
Because I have it on my fantasy, so but he already hit 20. He definitely missed the whole first month.
Yeah.
I think he came back second week of May, if I'm right. And he already has 20 home runs. I was saying he popped up on the
Francisco Lindor. Yeah, he just popped up in a commercial. So here's Javy Baez 2019 offensive stats so far: 28 home runs, 885 OPS, 130 hits, which is a lot, but 133 strikeouts. People say strikeouts don't matter no more. That's what Manny says all the time. I disagree, but Javy Baez kind of overcomes all the strikeouts because he does everything else. Yeah. Like his defense is it's run saving defense. So
yeah, we're Javy Baez. Look, I disagree with Manny also. I don't feel like strikeouts don't matter.
I think strikeouts matter is what I'm saying.
I feel like they matter. There are times where they don't. I will agree with that. There's times that it just doesn't matter. But there are moments that you cannot tell me. 8th inning, a guy on second base and you're down by 1, and you're okay with the strikeout.
Yeah.
A strikeout and when there's no outs, when a ground ball to second base gets the guy to third, or a ground ball to the outfield scores a runner, a strikeout does matter in those points.
Again, I always thought strikeouts matter. Like I always think that when you get a guy going, let's say you get a guy going 0 for 4 in a game. And those 4 outs were strikeouts. He didn't contribute shit to that game. That day, let's say he was a DH and he struck out 4 times. He didn't contribute shit. Now, let's say he came up those 4 times with nobody on base and flew out those 4 times. That's still better than striking out 4 times. Because you don't know what's going to happen when you fly out. Anything can happen. Remember Luis Castillo in that game? Mets, Yankees, Teixeira on first.
And I think A-Rod pops it.
A-Rod popped it up. Yeah, A-Rod popped it up.
And there was a guy on second. There wasn't even a guy on third. There was a guy on second. He misses the pop fly. And the guy from second, that thing was up there so long that the Yankees were able to score and then win that game, yeah.
Now, sorry that Manny isn't here to defend himself. But we talk about it all the time, man. I personally think strikeouts matter. I don't think any player should be striking out 200 times in a season. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
There's only 162 games.
You shouldn't be striking out more than one
You shouldn't be striking out. You shouldn't be striking out more than 170 times. That's a lot.
You know,
160 times is a lot.
And the crazy thing is, I know a lot of these hitters are coming up. It's like, oh, do you know how hard it is to hit with these people throwing so hard, right? Pujols has either yet or has maybe once in his career striking out 100 times, and he's playing. He's in the downside of his career.
The most Pujols has ever striken out was in his rookie year, 93 times.
93 times. He has yet to crack 100.
That was 2 decades ago.
And the guy, you could tell that he's not the same.
He's not.
He still doesn't strike out.
Nope.
So you can't tell me that it's a lot harder to hit pitches these days. And from what you were saying, a guy that goes 0 for 4 and strikes out 4 times, he didn't contribute.
Shit.
Literally squats to that goddamn game. Right? But a guy can go 0 for 4. And like I said, hit a ground ball to second, move that runner over.
Yeah.
Fly out to right and move that runner over. Or even ground out, right? Like hit a ground ball and make the guy cause an error, which is still counts as an out, like in his batting average. But now he's on base. With a strikeout, the only way you get on base is if the catcher drops the ball. And most of the time, if he drops the ball, you still get thrown out at first.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, the batters are not even running.
Yep.
So you could go 0 for 4 without a strikeout and contribute to that game.
Now, guys like Aaron Judge are like the exception. This is the same thing I say. Like DeGrom was the exception last year. Like to me, well, this is a different argument with the whole wins and losses shit with a pitcher. I do not want to get into that. Trust me, I don't want to get into it. But I consider DeGrom an exception. I consider Aaron Judge an exception because Aaron Judge is the one guy that's gonna strike out, lead the league in strikeouts, but he's getting on base. Top 2 guys on getting on base. He's getting on base. All right, whatever. That's cool. But you can't tell me strikeouts, like, it has to do something to your psyche. Like, if you're striking out 3-4 times a game and, like, you can't. It's striking out is not just about producing an out. You're not putting the ball in play. You're not making contact with the baseball. You're not doing something that you're paid to do. So, to me, strikeouts, like, to me, it's a big deal.
So I just want to see how many times this one guy.
Who?
All right. So for instance, see what Aaron Judge, like you said, he's an exception because the guy he still gets on base on a high clip.
Yeah.
But a guy like how we just mentioned before, who got suspended for the 80 game, Tim Beckham, should not be striking out 102 times to this point in the season. You are not that good. Your on base percentage is at 293.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be thinking that strikeouts don't mean anything. No. You should do a better job of not striking out, putting the ball in play, and contributing to your goddamn team. Yeah, especially if you're taking PEDs and you still suck.
Don't strike out. Lay a bunt down.
Lay a bunt down.
Let's get back to bunting, yeah.
For real. I was talking this with Andrew the other day. I'm still mad about that one game. I forgot who the Redsox played, but it was Hernandez up to bat in the 9th spot. We had somebody on second. We could have bunted him over to third and have our top of the lineup, Mookie, Devers, and Xander Bogaerts up. And we could have tied the game because what the Mookie did, he hit a fly ball to right and moved the runner to third.
So you're saying bunt?
Yeah, we could have bunted over, tied the game. I forget what team we played against. But what happened? No, Cora, and I don't shit on Cora because I think he's a good ass manager. But Cora fucked up right there. He didn't call for a bunt. And what happened? Mookie flew out to right. The runner moved to third. The next 2 people grounded out and I think strike out. And we lose the game right there. You gotta be shitting me, man.
Yo, I mean,
bunts win game. They don't always win games, but they could win games.
This is the world that we're living in right now.
Oh man.
All right. So that's it. That was the episode. We don't have to end the episode right here. We can talk whatever the hell we want to talk about. This is my podcast.
I mean,
Any final remarks you want to add? Anything to the baseball world? Anything at all? Did you watch? Have you been keeping up with Dragon Ball Super? Like, anything good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to watch the next episodes.
I told you I caught up with. I told you I caught up with everything, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't watch it in Japanese.
So what are you up to right now with Dragon Ball Super?
So you know how they're doing that little tournament thing to see what universe? I'm at the.
Oh yeah.
I'm at the point that I forgot the second universe this guy eliminated. So it's pretty much Goku's universe versus that other universe with the guy that looks with the big ass black eyes. I forget what his name is.
Yeah, they're like the elite universe or something. They have like the elite squad or something.
Yeah, they have that elite squad.
Okay.
So right now it's them that they're about to go at it. There's 10 minutes left. Yeah, this is one thing I was talking with Andrew.
Oh, what's annoying about Dragon Ball Z and Super and shit?
What's so annoying? All right.
Yeah,
that whole tournament is like 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes. And I get it. They're fighting like at super speed, so maybe everything that we're supposed to be watching.
But no,
like
that's not the case though.
Right?
Because they talk the way we talk. They hold conversations for 5 minutes.
Maybe they talk super fast.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
So, right? Every episode. I'm just doing it. Every episode is what? 20, 25 minutes, like if you count commercials, like something like that. There's 45. That tournament's supposed to be 45 minutes. That tournament is like 50 episodes long.
It's the whole thing.
It's so goddamn long.
The whole season or the whole 100 episodes leading up to the end of what's currently out there is the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, and
so this is funny, right? Like, all right, episode ends. Look at the voice comes on. They start talking like, "Oh, Goku, blah blah blah, blah blah." There's still like 20 minutes left to the end of the tournament, right? And I'm like, damn, before this episode, there was like still like only like 25 minutes. I'm like, yo, in those 30 minutes of this whole goddamn episode, you only showed 5 minutes of the goddamn tournament.
And it's like, yo, why put a time on it? Why not just tell us that this tournament is to the finish? Why did you have to put a time limit on it, knowing that you can't in DBZ and all that stuff, you can't stick with time, like,
right? And if you're gonna show this many fighting scenes, like right now, right the last episode I saw, it cuts it like right when the episode finished, it was like, oh, 10 minutes left to like the end of the tournament. And I'm like, holy shit, yo, there's still 10 minutes left, like. And you're gonna and I know there's gonna be some serious fights, because like, well, people that I've talked, that have watched it already, they're like, yo, the last couple fight scenes are like the best, because like he's fighting like that big guy. And I know these fight scenes are gonna last more than goddamn 10 minutes.
Oh, you're in for quite a surprise when it comes to Dragon Ball Super. But I'm just gonna go ahead and end the episode right here, guys. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by audibletrial.com or Audible Trail by itself. Doesn't have to be .com, but visit audibletrial.com/welcome to the show for a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial. And once again, please just take out a minute of your day to leave a review for this podcast. Manny usually says that make it a 5-star rating, but you know what? Make it any kind of rating. I want the good feedback. I want the real feedback. All right. What else does he say? Yeah, music by VM Varga, artwork by Luigi Gomez, my brother. I forget what his Instagram handle is, but follow VM Varga on Instagram. He did the music. Shout out to him. I want to thank my cousin Ivy for coming over here and doing this episode with me, because I wouldn't have done it by myself, because it's awkward for me to talk in a room by myself to do a whole hour and a half worth of baseball content. All right. Shout out to Manny for, living it up in the DR, where I want to be right now. But seriously, Ivy, thank you for coming on. Any final words that you want to say? Just speak to the mic, man. The floor is yours.
Nah, no final words. All I want to say is thank you for having me on, CT. Anytime you need me, I'm available to come on. Just shoot me a text.
Hell yes, most definitely. I do have your number, so I'll be shooting you a text. Now, I'm going to end this episode, all right?
Yeah.
Peace out.
Goodbye, America.